So, as that emotional release happened, that is when the power of emotions started to kind of dawn on me. And then those little memories of, if you smell cinnamon, and you had a parent or grandparent that simmered cinnamon around the holidays, that would totally bring back all those memories. Or maybe you smell like an old book and you get these floods of memories of sitting in a nook and reading books when you're a kid, like whatever it is. That power of aroma is huge. And it's just a real component of our world that is underestimated. So I gave you a little story. Sorry, I gave you probably too much. But what I'm going to do is take these BOGOs and walk you through them in a way that just shows you how can they help you with that stress and that sleep and those emotions, right? And we're just going to start with tea tree, since you can only get it with the BOGO box. Well, you probably have it. If you're on this call, you can raise your hand. You have tea tree. Tea tree is an amazing oil, and I never thought about it, period, for emotions, because one, it's very astringent, right? It's a very clean oil, and it is not an oil you would think about for emotions. But this is what I have learned, and Karina, you can totally say this. We know that it is powerful for all things stinky, great for like bumps, just like Purify, and you can kind of clean anything. So you can make a cleaning spray, you can spray it on people and things in trash cans. Awesome. Nails, lots of good things. But it is also incredible for energetic boundaries. And so I've heard a couple people say they use it for their kids who have been bullied, and they put it on their hearts before they go to school. So you'd make a roller bottle of this, or put some coconut oil and rub it on. And it's great for if you have, if you're the empath of your family, like you're the one that soaks in all the negativity that everybody is pushing out on you, right? I'm like, go tell it to a tree, don't tell it to me. And we don't need all that, but tea tree can help you block that. And so put it on your heart, and it will help you create a really respectful boundary to keep those negative things out. Okay. All right. So that's tea tree. Purify, I feel like this is just couples right with it. Purify is fantastic for detoxing. And so I probably need a lot more Purify because I can start getting rid of all kinds of junk. Sometimes when people have hives, it's emotional. That is being caused by emotions. And so they'll have this emotional trigger of hives, not knowing what in the world it is. Purify can help. And that's not an oil that most people will go to. They'll go to emotional oils, right? But Purify is great for toxic, hate, control issues, and any type of emotions that are in that effect, to help you cleanse all those gross things out, right? I like to think of this oil as mom, because it's underestimated and it does all the hard jobs. Okay. So you think of like bug bites, you could totally put it on acne. It's incredible for like, you want to pretend your house is really clean and you have friends like say, I'm coming over, and they're like popping up. You like totally shove that Purify in that diffuser, and your house smells amazing. And they didn't know that you're like a dumb house, right? So you got this. All right. So then deep blue. There's a couple that go along with this. These are the BOGO oils that we're chatting about, right? Thanks for the comments, guys. Keep commenting, and then we'll go back through them later. And if somebody else wants to, message back, feel free to do that. All right, deep blue. Deep blue is, I never knew this. So first of all, for emotions, it helps you to surrender, like to have a surrendering effect to the pain. So sometimes we've dealt with a lot of pain in our family, and the mindset typically with pain is, I don't deserve to be in pain. And when you have that mindset, immediately pain is worse. It is, it's a very difficult concept and thing to help people to try to recognize that most everyone is in some type of pain, and that once you accept that it's okay to have pain, your stress level decreases, and then most of the time, some of the pain will go away. And so there is that component, but it does help you to surrender that. And this is an oil that you can couple it with Aroma Touch. And I like to think of it as Aroma Touch's big brother, right? So you want this oil around if you have any type of pain, physical pain, joint pain, and like fibro, things like that. And what I've found is two things. One, this is the gateway oil for men. So I don't know if it's like the smells that you get from it. Like it smells like that mentholy, camphory smell that any over-the-counter rub would smell like. So it's almost like a feel at home kind of smell for men, right? But it's also an oil that if you recognize the emotional component of it along with the physical component, when someone has severe trauma, they hold that pain in, right? And so it might be manifesting in the joints, or if you're like me, you hold all your stress up in your neck and your shoulders. And so it's just a recognition of if you it has these emotional components as well, if that makes sense. We're just recognizing that because usually we throw that out to the side, right? We don't really worry about it. I'm going to go over aromatouch since I'm talking about that. This is also an oil. This is the first time I ever smelled aromatouch. I was at convention for the very first time. I think I had my doTERRA account 9 months, and I was just like, what is all this? Like, you walk into the convention and it is oil overload. Everybody has all 20,000 oils that they own on. And so I totally got a migraine, and it was, what is the solution to that? Walk out and get fresh air? No, oils. So you put aromatouch on your jaws, like loosen you up. And this is one of those oils where if you want your house to smell like a spa, like a really upscale scale spa, then you totally want to diffuse this, because this is what a spa will smell like. This is what you're going to smell. And you can just breathe this in, and it says aromatouch, it's massage blend. So we think immediately muscles, pain, all that. But what happens when we breathe it in? It releases all that tension and stress. It's amazing. So you can give yourself a little massage on your neck, spoil yourself, fill your cup up, and allow those oils, which are, just so you guys know what's in here. Let me find it. I did write it down. Nope, I didn't write it down. I didn't write this one down. That's okay. It's right here. And I know it has marjoram because I can smell the marjoram. It's amazing. It has peppermint, marjoram, basil, grapefruit, and lavender. Those oils combined are incredibly relaxing. So as you breathe that in, like spend a whole 30 seconds to a minute breathing it in, and all of that tension is just going to melt away, and then rub it on and allow it to work in both ways. All right. So it is emotionally great for relaxing. Okay. Just relaxing that tension. Adaptive. If we're talking about stress, this is one of those oils, like I think this is the oil that was studied for like 4 years, where lots of people tried it. They did all kinds of things, and they were studying it for like people who are super stressed out, people who feel anxious, people who really struggle with focus and anger and difficulty and change, and just not feeling very self-conscious, or not confident. And all of these studies, like adaptive, did so well. And what I found in our own group is, I know Kelly had this, and I know Dana, you love adaptive, and there's just something about adaptive. And we've used oils a long time. There's so many great oils like elevation and frankincense for emotions. Melissa, by the way, massive. But there's something about adaptive that, while all these other oils work, you have your lock, right? And then adaptive ended up being the key for many people. You know what I mean? It kind of that was the one that unlocked that stress, and it really helped them, because my mom used oils. I think you guys heard that story, for a while. And she tried several different ones. And when adaptive came along, it like knocked her off her feet. Well, she was so impressed, because it was like she then had her crap together. It's like, oh my gosh, it's my oil, it's my jam. So that's totally her. And this is an oil that has so many amazing and beautiful oils in it. So wild orange, lavender, copaiba, spearmint, which is the oil of like speaking, magnolia, rosemary, neroli, and sweet gum. So if you take all those out, they're all awesome, right? Put them all together, it's like the sum of the whole is more than the individual. So it's pretty cool. All right, Immortelle. We're going to talk about Immortelle, because Immortelle is why I bought the BOGO box. $69, guys, and that is half of the cost of the BOGO box. It's not diluted, so if you have sensitive skin, totally dilute it. I do not dilute it. I just use it quite sparingly on my face. This is my BOGO one from last time, and I just used up my other one. And when it had a tiny, tiny bit in it, I mixed it with neroli, and it smelled so good. But I put it on my face before I put makeup on, and it smooths out the lines. But this, it can do so many things for beauty, right? That's what it's technically labeled for and marketed as, is the anti-aging blend. And so if you weren't told before as a kid, like, don't cake all that makeup on, don't put all this junk on your face, like, now you know, because you're in your 30s and 40s, right? And you now know that you shouldn't do that to your face. And now you're babying your face. And it really does make a huge difference in anti-aging. And yes, someone just mentioned it, and that's where I was going. Excellent brain support, excellent eye support. If you look it up, one of the top uses is for eye support. These are physical things, right, for the most part. Now let's talk about emotional. It has frankincense. Like, this is the big hitter, okay? So like, if you couldn't afford rose, or you can't afford sandalwood, and you can't afford frankincense all at once, grab Immortelle. It's frankincense, helichrysum, sandalwood, lavender, myrrh, which I could totally be rubbing on my lip right now for the pain, helichrysum, and rose, okay? These are the heavy hitters for emotions. Hugely. It is a great oil for spiritual connection. So if you like praying or meditating, put a little swipe on your palm, rub your hands together, like cup it over your face, and just start your prayer, start your moment of meditation. It's going to ground you. It's going to help you to feel really centered. It's going to really help you with clarity. And it's going to help you, like, especially if you have grieving or frustration that is deep rooted. And if you're feeling really burdened or discouraged, these are oils that are going to help you release from that. I know rose in particular is the oil that they diffuse throughout the Rafa houses, where the children who are in sex trafficking come and they're rehabilitated there while they're trying to find families, because of the grief component. I know sandalwood is largely used for meditation and that whole spiritual essence, and just a better connection. Because if we're thinking about what we're supposed to be thinking about, we're not distracted, and we're going to get more done in those moments. All right, so that's the basics. I feel like any one of those oils would be worth getting the BOGO box because of how amazing they are. I don't feel like you can have enough of those. We use Deep Blue, Purified Tea Tree, and Aroma Touch for our Symphony of the Cells program. And so all of this, and anytime you're using that, it uses a little bit more oil than normal, but you're getting such a huge benefit. And that's why we like to stock up with them. But that's you know, extra. I'm going to go through the comments. Feel free, like, at this, I would love for you guys to share your own, like, something that happened with oils, with emotions, or anything that's happened in this week that you would like to share.
Do you want me to share a couple things?
Yeah, I would love that.
Okay. So, I mean, we've still been using all the same things, you know, that we normally do for our own personal stuff. But over the last 2 weeks, we've added a new little rescue pony to our family. And that's been a big adventure because she's got a lot of big fears. So just picking her up, right? She was basically a nightmare to get on the trailer. She didn't want to get on. And then the not so smart trainer tried to scare her in. And I'm like, dude, horse is already scared. What are you doing? Don't do this. So I had balance in my pocket. So gave her some balance. 30 seconds later, she walked right on. So I kept using balance with her, and I was using others as well. Like, I went to Cover Smell. Basically, the first 3-4 days, all I did with her was brush her and let her smell oils and put oils on her just to calm her body down. And the one that I hadn't brought out there, and the only reason I didn't bring it out there was because it has citrus in it. So I didn't want it on her coat because of the photosensitivity aspect of citrus. But Christy, who's usually on these calls on my team, she's like, well, have you used adaptive with her yet? And I said, you know what? I haven't brought it out, but I will, because I can at least put it, you know, under her chest, under her belly where it's not visible, or underneath her chin or something like that. At least let her smell it. It was a game changer. I mean, she was responding great to the other oils. It's not that they weren't helping her, but this one helped just that much more. Like, it kicked it up just an extra notch. So now I try to go out there in the evenings as much as I can, because I can put it wherever I want, and she'll be out all night and she's fine all night, and then it'll be okay by morning. But that's just been so cool to watch her, because everybody that saw her when she first came and sees her now, they're like, she's a completely different horse. Completely different. I mean, personality wise, my two little kids are the ones that walk her around the most and do most of her groundwork with her. And when we got her off the trailer, everybody's like, kids, back up, get away. Nobody knows which way she's going to go and when she's going to go and how fast she's going to go there. And now they do all the groundwork. I just walk next to them with my hand on the lead rope just in case. But it's amazing. And then the other thing, like, as soon as I started talking about Immortelle, obviously once BOGOs came out, and I was like, you know what? I've got to bring this one out to the park, right? So here I am using a $69 roller on my horse. But the vet that did her exam before I got her said that she has some densities in her eyes, right? And densities can lead to cataracts. So for her breed, she's considered an Appaloosa, and she's got very white hair and pink skin around her eyes, which leaves her much more sensitive to cataracts and uveitis. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to bring this out here, and I'm going to dilute it extra with some extra coconut oil or whatever. And I'm just going to rub it around my hands and rub it just around her eyes. You guys, I started putting that on her today, and she just closed her eyes and just dropped her head. She was just like, okay, done for the night. She was just so chill. I mean, it's crazy, right? And the cool thing with animals is that they have no preconceived notion of what you're doing and what you're using. They just have a natural response to it. So the other one that I'm quite surprised she doesn't like is digestant. I've had her smell that a couple of times, and she does not like peppermint. And I'm like, well, that's weird. So my concern with that was the fact that she's got a really, really big belly, but she was extremely malnourished and very thin. So one would think that if she has a hay belly, those would be helpful ones for her. But we have that coming to do a pregnancy check on her on Wednesday. Yeah. So yeah, I could try ginger tea green. Yeah.
Or fennel, just straight fennel.
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty excited to see what happens on Wednesday, but
awesome.
I'm pretty convinced she's pregnant.
So do you guys know what the free oils are? The extra oils? You do know?
I wish I did. I've got so many people asking.
Oh, I know them already. Do you want us to tell?
Yeah, Ruth Goff put them out there.
Yeah, she did.
Mm-hmm.
She spoiled it for everyone, so we might as well go with it. Jessica and Judy, if you guys don't want to hear, you better get off. Plug your ears, because we're about to spill.
No, I want to know.
I have technically the combo of what days they go with, but I don't want to guarantee that. Like, that's not something I can guarantee. Okay, so you guys ready? All right, I'm gonna get this. All right, let me grab them. I have them right here. Okay, so we have fennel. So I said that.
Yay!
Lemongrass.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Basil. Awesome oil.
That's great for adrenals.
So good. Yeah, I think that's what they were doing, detoxing, because fennel, basil, lemongrass, and purify, like all this. Rosemary. You guys know how much I love my rosemary. As a matter of fact, that's like another empty bottle. Okay, clementine. Can't get clementine.
Yay!
And kumquat. Can't get kumquat.
I like that one.
I haven't tried that one. Wait, maybe I did. I probably used
like
it all.
those.
And
Those are good
oh,
ones.
one more, frankincense touch. Yes. So you
That's
know I
awesome.
love my frankincense. That's so good. Actually,
So we-
Piper stole my frankincense touch. She uses it on everything. Her younger brother scratches her a lot when they fight, and so she has scars. And she's like, I need some frankincense.
So I
So did you?
pretty much frankincense touch and the immortelle are going to be going out to the barn.
No way. I'm keeping those.
Well, I've got the other rollers. I'm just going to I'll resell my old ones and then I'll keep the fresh new ones.
That's a good idea. Did someone else say something? You have a question?
I did. I was asking, so there's 12 or 13 oils? It's 13 if you buy the box, correct? Because of the tea tree?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13.
So
Yeah, if you buy the box.
I missed some of them that they did. I don't know how I missed the rosemary and the basil.
Oh, well, I went to the comments and copied it. It's like someone had wrote in it, like all the stuff, and because I didn't have time to watch the whole video. But I did look at the oil. Like at the very end, they scan through their oils and they're all right there.
Okay.
All right, so be surprised. Just kidding. If it's not the right oils, I'm sorry. I got the information online. It sometimes lies. But I think it's gonna be good. Like either way, these are oils that our family uses. And as a matter of fact, like what? Fennel, lemongrass, rosemary, basil, all of those are percent ESL oils too. So.
Guys, the only one I don't use much is fennel out of those.
Oh man.
The other ones I do, but
fennel tastes so good with wild orange in water. That's one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Wait. Okay, so Crystal.
Yeah.
Crystal.
Yeah.
So I watched the video. And I have Immortelle, Adaptive Roller, Cypress, Deep Blue, Fennel, Kumquat, Lemongrass, Tea Tree, Frankincense Roller, Aroma Touch, Purify, and Clementine. That's what they pulled out of their box.
So cypress. Oh, okay. So cypress instead of basil?
I think so.
Okay. That's
unless
fine.
they said it wrong.
I don't
No,
like that.
unless.
So here's the thing. I did not, I have not released this to anybody because I just don't want to. Like, I just feel like that's
No,
kind
it's
of cheating.
fun to have a surprise.
It is. I love surprises. Like, I'm a huge fan of surprises. But let me look at my notes because I did put it down. I looked at their notes that when they put them on, it said,
It's 70, not 80.
it says, buy Immortelle,
Well,
get frankincense, buy Adaptive, get Clementine, buy Purify, get basil and fennel. It might be cypress. Buy Aroma Touch, get kumquat, and buy Deep Blue and get lemongrass.
Okay. No, and
I don't.
it's very possible that they read it wrong as they were pulling them out because green and green, fennel is green, or no, not fennel, but
Basil.
cypress and basil.
Yeah, basil and cypress are close in color.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Do you really think lemongrass would go with Deep Blue because of the price difference?
I think that I don't ever question that anymore as much as I would want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just feel like it is what it is. Lemongrass goes with pain, so.
Right,
but
I know, but that's why maybe it's with Aroma Touch. How much is Aroma Touch regularly? I don't remember.
Like 26.
Okay.
And so either
And
way.
it's Aroma Touch is awesome.
Maybe it's Aroma Touch and lemongrass.
I'm not gonna have any opinion here because it doesn't matter to me. But
it's all good. Just buy the
it's gonna be
BOGO.
awesome. I already bought my box, so I don't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care what the free ones were because I know I'll use them eventually.
That's right. Like I had no problem with them. I already know better. And the frankincense touch and the Immortelle pays for it all. So
Oh, exactly. Yeah, it's amazing.
it's a great deal.
And if it's, basil is something that we use so much of. I'm like, yeah, but we also use cypress like crazy.
we do use cypress as well. So I think this is a great haul. I know you guys know that already. We don't have to convince people that show up on Mondays. The oils are awesome. But people who aren't enrolled yet, my goodness, I'm shocked that they are getting free enrollment and $50 credit.
I know.
$120 for 13 oils. Yeah. I'm like, if y'all don't enroll, I'm sorry. I'm gonna make you feel bad when you pay for them all full price next month.
I'm not sure if they're gonna let me.
Are you talking? Okay.
What? Hello.
Are you driving? Look at that. All right. Well, I'm gonna
She's
go.
driving 80 down a 70-mile-an-hour highway, so I'm trying.
It's a freeway.